Hey everyone, my name is Nate with CSG, and I'm not typically a Star Wars type of guy. I've seen the movies, I just saw Rise of Skywalker with a whole bunch of my friends. I played some of the games growing up, but I'm typically not what you would call a Star Wars fan. I really don't know that much about the universe, the lore. I just have some times in the Battlefront games, and that's really it. So, we all remember the insanely messy chaos that EA and DICE led everyone through when they released the new Battlefront 2, and the game was just straight trash. There were microtransactions cluttered everywhere, the game did not play right at all, and coming back to this so many years later, the game works. Surprisingly, it's not bad anymore. I spent some time playing with one of my friends who's really gotten into the game lately, and we both came to the same conclusion that this game is actually kind of great now. Star Wars isn't necessarily a game that I like to grind. It's very much a casual shooter. That's kind of how I look at Battlefield as well. I hope I don't get any mean comments for that one in the description. There's just a whole lot going on, and the game looks nice. That was never its issue, but the game actually plays nice now, and you don't need to spend thousands of dollars in order to unlock cards and do all these things for the different heroes and the different stormtroopers and whatnot. The game plays and it's fun with friends. Now, I could do without the card system. If you guys have not played this game for yourself, there's a card system where basically so let's take like a basic stormtrooper, for example, that you can play as, like the assault class or whatever. You can play as him and keep leveling up, and as you're leveling that character up, you're getting cards. And you can equip those cards and level up those cards, and it gives you like better perks or better abilities of whatnot, like better things to do with your character. You basically want to level them up all the way so that you can kind of keep up with everyone else. Now, I could do without that system. Back in the day, that system was tied in with the microtransactions, and that's where we started to have problems, where people on day one could just flat out lay down their bank account and go ahead and just be better than everyone else. I could do without the grind gap to where in a shooter game, you know, that's one thing if it's a PvE game or whatever, or some WoW type games, it's one thing. But in a shooter game, multiplayer shooters, PvP, there should not be one person is better than the other because their character has better gear because they played that character longer. I'm not a fan of that type. I like more of the Call of Duty style, where you can almost make the same argument for attachments, but you really are on an even footing with everyone else. And grinding these cards and leveling them up to the purple side of the cards, it's something that you're going to have to do, especially with the heroes, as you're kind of watching hero gameplay. There's a lot to this game. It's not just Stormtrooper versus Stormtrooper. You can also do like special hero duels. And I don't remember being able to do this on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, where you can like queue with a friend and do 2v2 hero-specific duels. You might have been able to, but that was so long ago. These hero duels are actually really cool, and this is where I feel like you start to get a really fun Star Wars experience where you are really playing as iconic characters. And yes, even from the new movies, you've got the one guy and you've got the one girl. I don't know anyone's names. The main guy and the new main girl, you know what I think the girl's name is Rey. I just saw the movie and I don't know. The new one, yes, last night, literally. But you can play as them, and that's really cool. So I hope that they can keep bringing in some of the new characters that are being introduced in the movies to pull people into the game. I'm guessing that's their plan. But it's a really sweet experience. And one negative I do have for the game, the space battles are nothing like the space battles we all enjoyed back a long time ago as kids growing up. So if you remember space battles on, let's just keep using PS2 for example, Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2, the space battles were so much fun, and I think all of us can remember flying our ship, like our little TIE fighter or whatever, into the enemy base, and then you get out of your ship and you like infiltrate their base by destroying the tech that's inside, and like you go shoot the core and try to destroy it that way. And that was like a really fun way to try to win the game. And there is none of that here from what I've seen. There is nowhere you can fly your ship inside the enemy base. There's nowhere to go like that. No, you're going to stay in space and keep shooting in space. And for me, I don't really have that much fun with the space battles. I think it's a common trend in gaming. No one can really do dogfights well. There's probably a game somewhere that does it right, but from the big AAA games, no one seems to do dogfight styles of warfare right. It just always feels wrong, and it's really not that fun of gameplay. Of course, that is incredibly subjective, but common sense would have it that I know it wasn't just me that had so much fun back in the day playing space battles just so that you could fly into the enemy base and try to get out of your ship really fast and go shoot up the insides of the ship. That was the fun, but they didn't add it in this game. So I don't know if there's a disconnect there, or maybe they just truly did not want that to happen, but I hope that ends up happening down the road. But this is a very strange story. We're starting to see some of these, and we weren't having a lot of this in gaming. The story overall is very comparable to Destiny 2, where the game launches. Destiny 2 had definitely had a better launch, but these games launch, they are not that great, but then they get turned around with time, and they actually turn into very playable, very fun experiences. And that is totally on you guys, us, the player base. We are basically voting with our wallets, as we would say in the game industry. You know, people were just completely turned off to Battlefront 2, and EA and DICE, you know, they came out with that apology a while ago, like, we didn't get this one right, and they fixed the microtransaction, they turned stuff around, and slowly over time, this game has really turned into an actual fun experience, and it just makes me happy that perhaps, like, when we were young playing Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2, making memories, maybe this is actually able to happen now with kids of this generation who are young now playing this game, and they're not being predatored on by evil microtransaction companies. Because we didn't have to deal with that back on the PlayStation. That's just where the industry wasn't there yet. And so it's really cool that people can have a great Star Wars experience in this game. Because if there's one fan base that seems to constantly get screwed over, it's the Star Wars fans. The Lego games are cool. They have some of the old games are really cool, but man, just back to back to back promises that are just never kept. And then they got the new Star Wars game. I'm blanking on the Fallen Order, which is apparently amazing. And I do kind of want to buy a copy of that for this channel, and I'll use that as some background gameplay. That game is really good. Battlefront 2 is turned around. Rise of Skywalker, or Rise of the Jedi. You can really tell I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I watched the new movie last night. Of course, no spoilers. I had fun. I was told that the one before was awful. I did not like the ones that came to Netflix that they showed on there. I thought all those were terrible. And Mandalorian's good. Rise of Skywalker, I would actually suggest going to watch. That was a fun Star Wars movie. It reminded me of like the really old ones that were good, like Empire and Number 4. It's like the fun Star Wars movies, this one felt like one. And it's nice to see that the Star Wars fan base is finally getting some of the love they deserve. 2019 is the year of the Star Wars fan, guys, which is pretty cool to see. I do have a soft spot for big OG franchises like that do have a passionate following, and seeing them get what they deserve is just really nice. And I hope that we see other fandoms getting some of the stuff they deserve. And I think Overwatch, for those of you that come from Nathan, I think Overwatch is on that list of fandoms that I think really need some more stuff. Overwatch is, and I know we're on a tangent now, but I think Overwatch is like one of those massive IPs with a huge following. So many people have merchandise from that game. So many people are familiar with the iconic characters, and we really don't have much besides the base game Overwatch 1. There's not much else to it, and I would love to see year 2020, which we're probably not getting Overwatch 2 then. I'd like to see 2021 be the year of the Overwatch fan base and get some really cool stuff. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me. I've been thinking a lot about this channel lately. I even bought a copy of Bloodborne to play on the PlayStation 4 so that I could record it and use some background footage for this. I don't know if I should talk about this now on Nathan, but I'm thinking about maybe just turning Nathan into like what this channel is becoming, and then I'll be on camera. I don't know, just some thoughts. I've been having a lot of fun with this channel. It really makes me feel like a YouTuber again, like when I was 13, grinding. This has been so much fun. You guys have no idea how much fun Common Sense Gaming has been, and we've just been doing this for like a week. And I didn't upload last night, even though I said daily uploads. I didn't upload last night because of the movies, and I was out. I had lunch with one of my good friends from high school. She's like one of my best friends, and she's super cool. So it was a busy day, but here's your video for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me, and have an amazing rest of the night, everybody. Take care.